Emma and Helen have taken the initiative. Hopefully, there'll be an artifact or two within that material. I just think there's something uniquely strange about this well, and I hope, no pun intended, that we get to the bottom of it.
Why did security suddenly tighten around the Season 13 finale of The Curse of Oak Island? Why were non-disclosure agreements reportedly enforced more strictly than ever before? Something happened in those final days of filming. Something the public wasn't meant to fully understand. At least not yet. Insiders hint that what was uncovered in the swamp may not be treasure in the traditional sense, but evidence of a massive, organized operation buried deep beneath the island. Not a single chest, not a random tunnel, but signs of a large-scale industrial complex that could date back centuries, possibly to the Dark Ages. And here's where it gets even more shocking. New data suggests the legendary money pit may have been nothing more than a decoy, a brilliantly engineered distraction designed to pull generations of searchers away from the island's true purpose. Before we uncover what this could mean, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because the pieces you're about to see may completely change the Oak Island story. November 5th, 2025 marked the Fellowship's long-awaited return to the Curse of Oak Island. But what if the most important chapter of Season 13 didn't unfold on camera and only began after filming wrapped? For years, we've been told the money pit was the ultimate target, the heart of the mystery. We've watched drill cores rise from the depths, floodwaters surge through underground tunnels, and centuries-old wood fragments examined like sacred relics. Every clue seemed to point back to that single location. But here's the twist. The most explosive development of Season 13 may not be in the pit at all. It may be unfolding somewhere far less expected, along the shoreline. Because if recent discoveries are any indication, the real story of Oak Island might not lie beneath the money pit, but at the water's edge, where history, engineering, and secrecy quietly intersect. According to a source reportedly close to production, the crew uncovered something enormous while filming the final episodes. Not another ox shoe, not broken pottery. This was different. The leak describes a concealed chamber beneath the shore, near the area highlighted in the episode Billion-Dollar Clues. Remember those strange geological readings that didn't quite add up? Turns out, they may not have been natural formations at all. They could have been walls. Online speculation is erupting. The rumored chamber supposedly ties directly to long-discussed medieval European connections. But this time, there's talk of tangible evidence, a structure designed to withstand rising tides, advanced engineering, precision planning. When the void was breached, insiders claim the usual flood of water didn't rush in. That suggests a sealed space, a preserved pocket in time, buried deep in mud and stone. If true, this is the biggest rumor to surface from Nova Scotia in years. A hidden chamber beneath the shore could explain why the money pit flood tunnels worked so efficiently. Maybe they weren't just defensive traps. Maybe they were components of a larger hydraulic system built around this coastal vault. The finale is rumored to focus on accessing that chamber. But entry isn't the only concern. What happens when you open a space sealed for 5 centuries? The pressure below is staggering. Tons of saturated earth and seawater pushing against aging timber. Collapse isn't just possible, it's probable. In fact, the leak claims that during excavation, the ground began to shift. Not dramatic editing, real instability. Fans are analyzing every frame of early Season 13 episodes. Forums are lit up with theories. Viewers point out subtle glances from archaeologists and quiet exchanges between the Lagina brothers. The tension feels real. and it forces a bold question. Have they been searching in the wrong place all along? If the real answer has been under the shoreline this entire time, then the money pit was nothing more than a decoy. That flips the entire narrative. Instead of a straight vertical dig, we're looking at a sprawling horizontal network connecting the swamp, the shore, and the pit itself. If this chamber exists, it suggests whoever engineered it had a master plan, far beyond burying treasure. This was underground architecture, a fortress beneath the island. But just as the team prepared to move forward, reports say disaster struck. You can't excavate an island riddled with voids and expect stability. While the shoreline discovery grabbed headlines, the money pit remained unpredictable. The second part of the leak describes a serious structural failure at the main excavation site. Season 13 aimed bigger than ever. Massive machinery, reinforced caissons, aggressive dewatering efforts, but nature pushed back. Insiders suggest the soil integrity in the money pit zone reached a breaking point. A collapse reportedly sent shockwaves through the crew. Imagine investing millions to stabilize a shaft, only to watch the earth reclaim it in seconds. That's the worst-case scenario. The whispers say a deep underground void gave way, triggering a chain reaction that nearly compromised equipment on the surface. When people mention a devastating discovery, it may not be about lost history. It may be about the operation itself, taking a serious hit. If the money pit becomes too unstable to continue, then the dream of ever reaching its true bottom could vanish overnight. And here's the uncomfortable part. This may validate what skeptics have argued for years. Maybe the island isn't rigged with pirate traps. Maybe it's rigged by nature. The limestone and gypsum layers beneath Oak Island slowly dissolve over time. The more drilling and tunneling you do, the faster that fragile system breaks down. According to the leak, when the collapse happened, crews were ordered to clear out immediately. That's not dramatic TV editing. That's real-life risk. But here's the twist. The ground shifting may have uncovered something new. As the Earth moved, it reportedly revealed another layer of debris. Timber samples were pulled up in the aftermath. Wood that doesn't match the 1800 searcher tunnels. This material is said to be far older. And that circles back to a theory fans have pushed for years. Stop probing carefully and strip it all back. Go big. Remove everything. Some even compare it to the large-scale excavation style seen on Gold Rush. Just move the earth and see what's underneath. After this collapse, insiders claim the team finally considered that drastic option. Precision drilling hasn't delivered answers. Maybe brute force will. The emotional weight here is enormous. The Lagina brothers have invested years of their lives and fortunes into this pursuit. Now they're facing a pit that seems determined to swallow their equipment whole. The finale reportedly centers on a pivotal decision. Walk away because it's too dangerous, or escalate and dismantle the island piece by piece. Viewership may be climbing, but for the crew on site, this is no thrill ride. A cave-in at 100 feet isn't minor. It sends tremors through every shaft, muddies surrounding data, and destabilizes everything nearby. It's chaos. So the season builds toward a dramatic crossroads. On one side, the shoreline chamber, potentially an untouched time capsule. On the other, the money pit, collapsing and threatening to erase clues as it falls in on itself. With limited time left in the season, the team must choose where to focus, and that choice may explain why attention is suddenly shifting toward Lot 5. Now here's where things take a sharper turn. For decades, the popular imagination has centered on pirates, Captain Kidd, Blackbeard, buried gold. But the newest leaks suggest something much older. The artifacts reportedly recovered aren't from the 1700s. They may date back to medieval times. The Knights Templar theory has floated around the show for years, usually based on symbolic carvings or speculative connections. But insiders now claim laboratory testing, specifically carbon dating of timber, places human activity on the island in the 1300s or 1400s. That's long before Columbus reached the Americas. If that dating holds, it changes everything. It implies pre-Columbian European presence in Nova Scotia. Not visitors passing through, builders, workers, engineers constructing something complex well before the Money Pit's supposed discovery in 1795. Lot 5 has already yielded small but intriguing artifacts. The finale is rumored to reveal something far more substantial: tools consistent with medieval European construction styles, possibly linked to France or Scotland. If confirmed, that's bigger than treasure. That's historical upheaval. Online groups are buzzing over images of timber fragments marked with distinct adze cuts, the kind used by ancient shipbuilders. These aren't modern sawmill marks. They're handcrafted impressions from a time when every beam was shaped by hand. The prevailing theory gaining momentum is this: maybe there was never treasure in the traditional sense. Maybe it was a vault, concealing documents, relics, or knowledge belonging to an order under threat. If that narrative takes center stage, the show shifts from treasure hunt to archaeological breakthrough. And strategically, that matters. You can spend millions chasing gold and find nothing. But if you uncover evidence that rewrites early North American history, that's a victory of a different kind. The medieval angle also explains the sophistication of the flood system. Designing tidal traps requires advanced understanding of hydraulics and labor organization. Pirates weren't known for that level of engineering, but a disciplined, well-funded order capable of building cathedrals, that's another story. Reports suggest the finale will feature a dramatic reveal: lab results confirming the age of recovered wood. Imagine the moment, sitting in the war room, hearing that the timber you just pulled from the ground is 600 years old. Validation, vindication. But there's a darker implication. If people were here centuries ago, they buried something intentionally, and perhaps for good reason. As work intensifies around Lot 5, the tone shifts from recovery mission to investigation. It starts to feel less like treasure hunting and more like uncovering something that was meant to stay hidden. And then there's the legend. 7 must die before the treasure is found. That line has hovered over every season like a storm cloud. According to insiders, the season 13 finale edges uncomfortably close to that myth. Not in a sensational way, but in a sobering one. The collapse wasn't just shifting dirt, it was a close call. Production members were reportedly shaken. For the first time in a long while, the danger didn't feel historical. It felt immediate. When you're operating massive machinery on land that's basically hollow underneath, disaster can strike in seconds. According to the leak, the finale plays out almost like a cautionary tale. Conditions on Oak Island have reportedly become so unstable that there's talk local authorities considered stepping in. Rumors of potential stop work orders are floating around. Imagine standing on the edge of what could be the biggest breakthrough in history, only to have officials shut everything down because the ground itself isn't safe. In a strange way, that mirrors the island's legend. Every time the team appears close to answers, something intervenes. Storms roll in. Machinery fails. The earth shifts beneath their feet. This season raised the stakes even higher. Deeper excavation, heavier equipment, more pressure, literally and figuratively. The leak claims that in the final stretch, a large machine nearly slid into a void that suddenly opened beneath it. That's not minor drama. That's the kind of moment that freezes everyone on site, and it leaves viewers hanging. Will they even be permitted to continue? Has the excavation crossed into territory that's simply too dangerous? It's the perfect cliffhanger. Fuel for a Season 14 renewal, but it's also frustrating for fans desperate for concrete answers. Long-time viewers are genuinely concerned. We've seen medical teams rush in before. We've seen ambulances on the island in past seasons. The tone described in these leaked finale details isn't celebratory. It's not cheers and champagne. It's quiet relief that everyone walked away safely. Which brings us to the boldest theory yet, the strip mine solution. If tunnels are collapsing and shafts can't be stabilized, maybe the only path forward is radical. Instead of drilling and probing, remove the danger entirely. The finale may hint at a dramatic proposal to excavate a massive section of the island in one open operation. No more narrow shafts, no more blind drilling. Just peel it back and expose whatever lies beneath to daylight. It would be extreme, expensive, controversial, working with cranes, excavators, and drilling rigs on land that's riddled with hidden cavities is like walking across thin ice with a bulldozer. One wrong move, one weak pocket beneath the surface, and everything can shift in seconds. According to new whispers surrounding the season finale, the danger on Oak Island may have escalated to a level no one anticipated. This isn't just about suspense for television. The talk behind the scenes suggests officials may have started evaluating whether operations could safely continue. There are rumors of inspections, emergency assessments, even the possibility of temporary shutdown discussions. Imagine pouring years of effort and millions of dollars into an excavation, only to be told the land itself has become too unstable to proceed. There's something almost eerie about the pattern. Every time progress seems within reach, something intervenes. Machinery falters. Storm systems roll in. The ground fractures. This season raised the intensity. Deeper shafts, wider digs, more aggressive exploration. With that came greater strain on an already fragile underground network. Sources describe a moment late in filming when a heavy vehicle reportedly shifted as the soil beneath it weakened unexpectedly. Workers scrambled. The realization hit fast. This wasn't theoretical risk anymore. It was immediate and physical. That kind of event changes the mood instantly. It stops being about treasure and starts being about survival. Instead of ending with cheers, the finale is said to close on uncertainty. Not a golden artifact lifted triumphantly into the air, but a question mark hanging over the entire operation. Will they be allowed to continue at the same scale? Has the island reached a tipping point where safety overrides ambition? Long-time viewers know this show has never ignored danger. We've seen tense evacuations before, but insiders claim this time felt different, quieter, heavier. The relief wasn't about finding something extraordinary. It was about everyone walking away unharmed. And that atmosphere is pushing an extreme idea back into the spotlight. If tunneling deeper only destabilizes the site further, maybe precision digging is no longer the answer. Maybe the solution is drastic. Remove entire sections systematically instead of probing them. A massive open excavation that eliminates hidden voids by exposing everything at once. No more narrow shafts. No more blind drilling. Just controlled, large-scale earth removal. So what do you think? Are these leaks credible? Or is this brilliant marketing designed to keep us glued to the screen? Are the Laginas closer than ever, or just chasing another void? Drop your theory in the comments below, and if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates as this mystery continues.